Welcome to MAFS Madness on So Many Receipts. I'm Fleur Michelle.
And I'm Shelley Seddon. We're journalists, reality show addicts, and obsessed with Married at First Sight.
Bringing you all the tea from MAFS 2026. Let's get stuck in.
We finally got to the bottom of Fingergate, and it turns out the whole fiasco is basically Steven's fault. Unseen footage of Steven joking with Beck had him squirming on the stand couch.
This was basically a get out of jail free card for Beck.
She's been exonerated.
It was this light bulb moment for Rachel, who now gets why Beck made the comment Beck thought it was okay to joke about because Steven also joked about it.
Honestly, I don't think Steven even remembered having that conversation. He looked mortified and realized he was in the doghouse.
I never really believed the Steven is so innocent storyline. This guy used to be a goth rocker hanging out with edgy dudes. I always suspected he just wasn't that attracted to Rachel and didn't know how to navigate that while still staying on the show.
Well, they do seem to still be together, and Steve-O is definitely in the bad books, especially since Rachel is still crying about this incident 6 months later.
Rachel is pretty sensitive at the best of times, and now it's a national talking point. It's clearly humiliating for her. I get it.
Just imagine going back to your job as a team leader, knowing the whole country is discussing this.
Even Richard and Sylvia on Today Extra couldn't believe they were talking about it.
Richard Wilkins is basically all of Australia right now.
Our most esteemed entertainment legend who's interviewed the biggest stars in the world, now discussing Fingergate. Do we believe that he doesn't know what the word means?
He is 71. Maybe they called it something different back then. Scott called Gia his soulmate at the dinner party, but we never bought it. From the start, they just seemed too different.
Now, unseen stand footage reveals the cracks that led to their breakup. Scott suggests that Gia was very focused on her image, even admitting he felt a little scared of her.
But we see how quickly Gia becomes irritated and how determined she is not to argue on camera. She wants to maintain this image of the perfect power couple.
The show's main narrative so far has left key things out. Aside from those deleted phone photo pics, it's been a mystery as to why they split, but it's now more clear. Scott says Gia cares a lot about appearances and what others think.
They just never had that much in common. Scott doesn't drink. He gets up at 4 a.m. to work out. He hates drama. He just wants to focus on building his empire.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gia says she loves burgers. She drinks like a fish. And she's a drama queen. Chalk and cheese.
It's a bit bizarre on the Stan show that everyone still has to wear their wedding rings, right? And pretend that they're together.
I know, even though it's been, 6 months since filming and most couples have already split, there were rumors going around that Scott really wasn't that into Gia and just stayed on the show to get airtime and publicity for his businesses.
I loved when they asked who had the scarier wife. Danny and Scott both gave the same answer.
Yes.
Nice Guy Sam has slammed Juliette in a new interview and questioned her intelligence. Sam says Juliette calling Beck the C word was outrageous, absolutely nuts, shockingly vile, and shows little intelligence when people resort to name calling.
Go Sam. Well, he is clearly Team Beck.
I have been so irritated by the excessive swearing on MAFS this season. It has been next level vile.
This is the second time Juliette's called someone the C word on national television.
Yeah.
You think she would have learned after the reaction she got the first time?
Her saying the C word is no big deal when so many people find it offensive. Is she serious?
I agree with Sam. She's idiotic.
Also, I reckon Sam was secretly mortified Chris keeps cuddling Juliette on his lap and siding with Gia.
Juliette's obsession with Gia feels less about Rachel and more about them taking down Beck. I think Juliette is just looking for a storyline.
Daily Mail also revealed Juliette disappeared and flew home to Melbourne without telling production.
How is staying on set not ironclad in their contracts?
So we found a Daily Mail article from August last year that hyped up Juliette, and looking back, it's actually hysterical because so much of it is wrong. So they described her as a glamorous creative, with insiders calling her an absolute sweetheart.
She's a foul-mouthed receptionist at a real estate agency.
They then said Juliette's been tipped to be one of the most grounded brides this season.
She is completely unhinged.
This is my favorite. A production source said she's classy and clever. This article has aged like milk.
And then other media outlets used some of these same lines. It's fake news.
The DMs come up with some good stuff, but this had me screaming. So back to that swearing issue. Am I just an old nana? Like, is it actually just no big deal of the beepers going off every few minutes on these shows now?
I'm not actually anti-swearing. If you swear in your private life, okay, fine. But why would you do it on national television? I don't get it. Your
Mm.
work colleagues are watching, your parents, your friends, people ha you haven't even met yet. Everyone's watching you.
And they always say that they forget that the camera's on, but so many of the F-bombs, especially when that initial Mean Girls stuff was happening, these F-bombs were in Vox Pops to camera in front of a producer. Brooke dropped a lot of slurring F-bombs. So did Gia, so did Beck.
Brooke represents brands. She's a model. Gia is a mom to a young girl. Beck's in a senior management position. It's just bizarre that they would present themselves this way.
Yeah, I think it shows a lack of self-control and self-awareness. Like you can't just think of alternate words. Maybe they just don't
And
have the language.
yeah, exactly. And also, I want to talk about my gay husband, Sam.
Oh
I
yeah.
think he and Chris, they are very different people. Sam seems really down to earth, and he said in that article, he's not used to confrontation. He grew up in
Mm.
a very non-confrontational household.
Yeah, whereas you can tell Chris loves the drama because he's always got his arms around Gia and Juliette. Like, I think he just loves the glamour and the theatrics of Gia.
And I'm sure Gia's missing her gay bestie, and she just gloms onto Chris as like her little minion. I can tell Sam feels uncomfortable around these bitchy girls and all this drama. Sam, call me. I want to do an experiment to make Sam straight.
I think him and Chris are a little bit of a mismatch, but that's
Mm.
that's just me. I read online comments that viewers were confused about why Joel now has his arm around Juliet at the retreat, why he's being sort of affectionate and a little bit supportive, why he was letting her mouth off when he was silent. Like, isn't it obvious? The guy just wants a bit of peace. He doesn't want to be in the firing line. He's trying.
Yeah. He sensed an interview saying he has nothing to do with Juliet, and then she just wanted to be on the show to be in the limelight.
Mm.
She kept telling him that she really loves reality TV and gossip, and she made him watch Vanderpump Rules with her.
And I don't think he knew what that was because in this, it was a radio interview and he goes, it was a show called Vanderpump Rules. The poor guy.
Mm.
Were you kind of unsure about him as at the start, but now seeing the appalling way that Juliet's treated him, you now sort of see another side and you actually like him because I do.
We all saw the drumming video that went viral. I thought it was hilarious, but it's worth remembering Joel is also a part-time model.
Yeah, I've taken off the goofy goggles that I first viewed him through. I mean, does he kind of give you George Clooney vibes, or is that just too much of a stretch?
If you just looked at his modeling shots, like he is a handsome man. He's
Hmm.
very photogenic. I had to look through his online portfolio.
He's suave, yeah. He often gets
Yeah.
cast as the hot dad in campaigns. He did this cover shoot from Mag called Village Live. He was also in this restaurant ad, and he's done quite a bit of stuff. He's
Yeah,
actually like a
Joel,
real
he's built.
model. He's a
Yeah,
real
he's
model, not a
built.
pretend one.
I think maybe Juliet felt intimidated by his big energy and his good looks.
Maybe she felt overshadowed because I think she's used to having that main character, it girl sort of energy in her own circle.
Well, at the wedding, he did go full Borat, but I think producers were probably egging him on. But I think when he does Borat, it's funny.
My honest opinion is that Juliet is actually way out of his league. We've actually seen very little of the goofball since he's been with her, aside from the teddy bear.
Which I'm sure he just brought that along for a gag. And I did think it was funny when Gia had to apologize to Teddy.
He's stayed very calm and mature. He's actually been quite serious on the show because he's had to be, because he's with Juliet. She
Yes,
doesn't exactly
exactly.
spark joy in him.
No, I love his joyful, sparkly personality. I love his light. I can see it.
Mm,
And, he just is
yes.
able to be that person when he's with Juliet because it's a performance.
I keep thinking, okay, Joel, I like what I see. I like what I see. I mean, I
Yes,
think they leave, right, this week. She storms
yes,
out.
yes.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to last long. Yeah, Joel, maybe I have a little crush.